Hi everybody, my name is Lisa and this is Knitting with Frogginette. I'm a knitwear designer who focuses on baby and children's knitwear, and this is my knitting podcast, vlog, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to start off by saying that I wish you a very happy new year. Things are going okay here. We spent the holidays at home with our children. They were out of school for the last week before the Christmas holidays. So I've been with them. We've been with them basically the whole time since then. The schools have reopened here, but it's sort of they're really asking you to keep your kids home if you can. The schools are open only for people who really don't have any other choice. So we've been trying to make do and doing school at home, and trying to keep working, which is one of the reasons why this episode is a little bit overdue. We spent the holidays at home. We just had a very cozy, quiet time. It was actually pretty lovely. I did a lot of knitting last month. I participated in the Indie Design Gift Along, which is this annual virtual event based on Ravelry, where indie designers sort of get together and do a big promotion and knit each other's designs, and people can participate in lots of different knit-alongs. So I knit a lot of patterns from other people, other designers, and it was amazing because I really needed to knit. I was so sort of a little bit on edge, and it really helped me, I think, get into the right sort of more relaxed state of mind that is required to deal with the current situation. So what I'll do is I'll show you those designs one after the other. But before that, I just want to show you a few sort of impressions of my adopted hometown, which is located in northern Germany on the Baltic Sea. And this is where we live, and it's quite lovely, except that it gets pretty dark in the winter because it's very sort of up north. So, we tried to combat this by going to our allotment garden a lot, taking the kids to practice their roller skating, which they really got into, and it's become a little bit of a ritual. Every day they go and they just skate around town. And what else did we do? We went to the ocean, see the ocean. We, just baked a lot, ate a lot, played Scrabble, just stayed home. So the first finished object that I want to show you is actually what I'm wearing, and I will actually insert some footage so you can see a better view of the sweater. This is a sweater called Madoka, and it's by a French designer whose name is Marianne Munier. And it's, let's see, I knit this with the Malabrigo Rios in the colorway Gris, which is absolutely lovely. I think it's a relatively newer colorway. It's the first time that I had actually used it. And what I really enjoyed is that it's not too tonal. Like, it's relatively monochrome, like the color doesn't change drastically between skeins of yarn. But I mean, it still has nice, nice depth and everything. I don't know if you can see, but it's still, relatively sort of uniform. And so therefore the cable really is the star of this sweater, and the cable pattern, which I think is just absolutely stunning. I did a few modifications. What did I do? I think I might have mentioned it in my previous podcast, but I'm not sure. My previous episode, I mean. I made this shorter, but keeping into account that I knew that it would grow a bit, because this is a superwash yarn, and those yarns tend to naturally bounce. They tend to grow when you block them, and they then can bounce back when you very, very gently put them in a tumble dryer, which I did not want to take the chance, which I rarely do want to take the chance. So I just kind of planned for a little bit of growth instead, calculated, basically what I thought would be reasonable for this yarn. And so I didn't do the full number of repeats of the pattern. It's knit bottom up. And then when I saw in some of the projects, people were thinking that perhaps the shoulder depth could be a little tiny bit longer. And I definitely wanted that. I wanted it to be very comfortable. So I think I followed the size. I forget what size I followed. I mean, all my modifications, and there's really not that many. They're in my Ravelry, on my Ravelry project page, and I will link all this information below in the description of this video. But anyway, this was really a pleasure to knit. It's the kind of knit where it's not too hard, because you just have that one cable panel. The back is plain. It's just stockinette, and so it's very pleasant that way. Like, you just have this really fun sort of thing to focus on, but it's not like you're constantly like having to pay attention to every stitch. I really wanted an intricate cable knit, and I think I've got it, and I really recommend the pattern. It's just lovely, very well written. I recommend it. You should check it out. And this designer has a lot of other really cool patterns, so you should go and check out her work. So next I realized that I had knit my daughter much in the past few months or year. So I kind of went a little bit nuts and actually knit her two sweaters by two different fellow knitwear designers. The first sweater I knit for her is this one, and it is called, oh my god, what is it called? Hold on a second. Hi. It's called Miranda by Yvonne Thorsen, I believe. And I will link to the pattern in the description below. And so this was supposed to be a stash busting project. So my challenge with this was to only use what I had, sort of the bits and pieces. And so I wasn't really sure, how it was gonna work out. But so I did the yoke in this one color, which I think is absolutely stunning. I will put all the details. I think this is a Madelinetosh. I'll put the details of the yarn down below. And then it would have been gorgeous just, you know, like the original, like the sample version, which is just one color. But I thought, okay, since I wasn't sure how much yarn I had and I knew I didn't have enough of the pink to really finish, I decided to do stripes, sort of pink on pink stripes, and then at the end put a little golden accent. And I did for the sleeve that pink, but without the stripes because I just didn't have enough of that hot pink. But I think it still works actually. And I also did this little gold trim. And I really was tempted actually to skip the sleeves altogether and just make a kind of a short like cap sleeve dress, you know, with just the gold trim here, like a little hem, but really just more of a like layering piece with cap sleeves instead of long sleeves. But I kind of, since, you know, this is supposed to be supporting you know, fellow knitwear designers, I didn't want to like steer too far away from the original design, and so I decided to go with long sleeves. And actually I think it's actually fine, like she's been wearing it quite a bit, and my daughter, that is, and I don't regret it. I think it was fine to do long sleeves. It was such a pleasure to knit this pattern. The lace is very easy. You increase between these like columns of lace, and I mean, it's just stunning. I think this is like really a special, you know, a special piece. Now the problem I had is that as I was knitting this, I mentioned to my daughter that I was gonna knit this other sweater next for her. And I have to say that she was a lot more excited about the other one because it's a little sweater that has rainbow sleeves. So she just couldn't wait for me to just start on that one. And this one that I did, the second one that I did also for the Indie Design gift along is this. So it has like a plain body and then these really cool rainbow sleeves. And the hardest thing about this design, so by the way, this is called little worsted sock arms, and there's different versions. I think there's like a sock weight version that was the original design that this designer came up with, and then she did a worsted weight version. And there's also grown-up versions of this design, which would be really cool actually to knit. I was very tempted to do that, but just didn't have the time. The designer is Stephanie Lotven. And the tricky part here was finding the right self-striping yarn, because this is not a bunch of, you know, yarn odds and ends, although you could certainly use that. This is actually just a self-striping yarn, and there's not that many available in Europe that have the right sort of stripe configuration where it wouldn't be too wide or too thin. Like, you know, this is about what I was looking for. And so I found that I had to go with a DK yarn instead of a worsted, but it worked out fine. I was able to get gauge, and it looks great. And I'll put the references to the yarn that I purchased in the description below as well. So this was again great pattern, really cool sort of situation with very neat armholes, and it fits really nice. I really love the way it fits, because my big pet peeve is shoulders that don't sit properly. Like I feel like a lot of designs have these that have, you know, this sort of set-in sleeve. They will have very big shoulder tops here, and you always kind of feel like you're pulling it up and it doesn't quite sit right. And this really like stays up, and you know, the sleeve just sort of fits nicely. So I really appreciated that. The only issue I had is that if I was to do it again, I would not have done all the decreases, because the sleeves ended up a little bit snug, but it actually is a look that I like. And it should be noted that in the pattern, you do have the option of doing a more like baggy, quote unquote, baggy sleeve, which the designer says, you know, might be better for little boys, but, you know, obviously it completely depends on the look you're looking for. So maybe next time I would have done that instead, like a more baggy sleeve. But it does look really cool. She just can't wear t-shirts that are not, you know, quite snug. Like if it's long sleeve things, they should be a little bit snug for it to fit nicely. So that was another project. Then I did a really quick thing for my son because I thought, oh, he needs something as well. But like, I did a hat, and I think that it's really cool. It's so fast. It was so fast to knit. I knit this one with this new Faces-Bleues yarn that I was sent to try out by lovecraft.com. Since they're the new distributor of Faces-Bleues. And so it's kind of like this bulky yarn. It's a little bit fuzzy, but pretty cool. And I used some, I want to say this is this Japanese, oh, what's it called? This Japanese Noro. Amazing Japanese yarn. It's Noro Korean, I believe. And I had a little bit of, you know, bits and pieces, and so this worked out perfectly. And I did not do the pom-pom that was supposed to be on the, that was, you know, planned, because my son did not want a pom-pom. And the name of the pattern, I have to check again, hold on. Okay, so the name of the pattern is Big Mountain, and it's by Faye Kennington. Yuki knits. You probably have seen her work. She does a lot of bulky weight designs, including these really cool slippers that everyone has knit that are called Mine. Yeah, so I made this, and you know, as I was knitting this, I was thinking this is the perfect pattern for, like, you know, teenagers, basically. You could totally make this super quick project, and I feel like it looks very like kind of almost like a little bit of snowboarder, like cool, fashiony, whatever. You know how they wear these chunky sort of hats that look hand knit? Well, this one is hand knit, and I still think it looks cool enough for like a teen to wear or want to wear. And what what my son really liked about this one is that it's a little bit reminiscent of Minecraft, like the Minecraft colors, and he's a huge fan of Minecraft. So yeah, he ended up really liking this. And I'll put a little bit of footage so you can see it in action on my son. The next project I worked on was a total improvisation. I made this, it looks very bright. It's not that bright in reality. It's a cowl, a long sort of cowl that I made for my mother. I haven't been able to give it to her yet, but when we'll be able to see each other again, that'll be her present. And I kind of really like it. I kind of want to keep it or make myself another one. Look at how cozy. See, it's like what I used. So I completely improvised this, and I used some. I think it's the Rerum Natura Ulysse, the yarn that you see here. I used. Let me think. Yes, I used that. I forget the colorway, but I will include those details below. And I used different shades of mohair that I held together with the Rerum Natura yarn to get this kind of cool, fuzzy, super cozy effect. Let me see if you can see, yeah. And I really like the texture as well. I think it turned out pretty cool. So nice, happy. It's actually more pink than it looks. I don't know why it looks so red. Anyway, I made this one for my mother. And now on to my next finished object. Alright, the last finished object that I made for Christmas, you know, holiday knits, is this Ridari sweater that I made for my husband. And I will show you a modeled a little bit of footage, minus the head because he doesn't want to be shown on camera, but I'm very happy with how it fits him, and I hope he wears it. I really do hope he wears it. If not, it's sort of my size, so I could also, you know, adopt it if it gets if it languishes for too long. Yeah, I made some modifications, sort of the similar ones that I made from my first Ridari, which I will show you a couple pictures of that as well so you can see. But that's, you know, a no-brainer. This pattern, you know, is like, I mean, the design is really great. I wear mine, I mean, every day. Like, that's the first thing that I reach for in the morning. I'm just, like, always wearing it. And I just love it. And I hope that he'll feel the same way. I actually, as far as the colors that we picked, we ended up picking the recommended color scheme that's in the pattern. There's two versions that they show in the pattern, and this one is the one that my husband liked the best, and I think it looks really nice on him actually, because he has green eyes, and so it really sort of brings his eyes out. And yeah, that was my last big holiday knit. And aside from that, I did very recently release a pattern, which is the third pattern of my Agatha Christie themed collection. And let me go get it for you and show you. So this pattern is called Tommy and Tuppence, and this is because this is Tuppence, see, with the A shape and the adorable rounded sort of Peter Pan collar and the little tab at the back. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's pretty irresistible personally. And I called it Tommy and Tuppence because this is Tommy. This is the sort of boyish version, which is just straight, very simple, super easy. And this one does not have the rounded color. It's just very simple. And so the idea behind these patterns were that I wanted to make something that was really very beginner friendly. So the pattern has a lot of extra information, sort of clarifies a lot of things that normally I would sort of make more compact in terms of the instructions. I really wanted a beginner, well, an advanced beginner. I mean, you still need to be able to read a pattern and understand sort of roughly how to knit, but I really feel like it should be pretty good in terms of hand-holding you through this whole thing. And there's quite a few techniques that are very good to learn early on, but it's, you know, it's really straightforward. And I think that it's like the perfect little gift for a new baby, because it's also very practical to have this kind of thing. And you know, if you worry about that for a young baby, that is completely optional. You know, you can completely leave this out and make it a plain back. I just thought it was really cool, especially for the older sizes. And yeah, this is knit with Malabrigo chunky yarn, and I'll put the details of the colorways down below. And this pattern was released like maybe a couple weeks ago, I think, a week or two ago. And you can get it either as an individual pattern, purchase it that way, or you can get it as part of the ebook that will eventually contain 5 patterns that are all garments and all fully graded from 3 months old to 10 years old. So a really big size range. And yeah, I still have 2 patterns to release. And when you buy the ebook, what happens is you automatically get emails when I release the remaining patterns. So even though you only have access to 3 right away, right now, when you purchase, as soon as I release the 2 last ones, then you get the email and you can download right away without, of course, having to pay anything more. So that's that. I am almost ready to test knit the 4th pattern of this collection. And I have already knit the 5th pattern and written it, almost finished writing it. So that collection should be complete by February, I think the end of February. And I'm very, very happy with it. And it's gotten a really good reception. And thank you so much for that. This year has been actually really good. You know, it's been hard in a lot of ways, but I feel like maybe people were knitting more, I don't know, or they were just knitting the patterns they already had sitting in their library, but I saw so many of my designs pop up everywhere on social media and everything, and it just, it made me so happy. Like, it makes my day every time I see something, you know, knit from my pattern, and even better, you know, actually modeled by a little kid, like in the real world, doing kid things. I just love that. So for this year, New Year resolutions, well, last year my New Year resolution, the main one was to knit a lot more sort of personal knits, and knit, you know, other designers' designs, which I did so much, like maybe I went a little overboard with that. I will have to do sort of, you know, 2020 knits, or like all the sweaters I knit in 2020 or something, or even I could even do one day like all the sweaters I've ever knit, like episode, which would take a long time. But I saw some podcast episodes out there on YouTube that did that, and like I find it mesmerizing. Like there was one that I just stared for 2 hours while the woman was trying on sweaters, that some of them that she had knit like 15 years ago or whatever, and kind of reminiscing about what was sort of in fashion back then, you know, and it was so much fun. And so I'm thinking I might do that one day and sort of take you through like my sort of evolution as a knitter, before I was even, you know, a knitwear designer, and also do the post-mortem, so to speak, of like, okay, what things that I actually knit did I wear, or what is still kind of sitting there, what did I give away, you know. That would be kind of fun. So that's an idea. If you think that would be interesting, you know, let me know in the comments. Other than that, I am planning to do next time sort of an interlude gardening episode. If you're not into gardening, I apologize, just kind of disregard that episode. Just know that, you know, don't even go there. Wait for the next one that's about knitting. But I really wanted to do one after a lot of people said that they had an interest in having from time to time some gardening content. So I will do that. And yeah, then I'm hoping this year to actually do a lot more videos. I'm thinking perhaps shorter, more frequent sort of vlog type things, and also more like useful stuff, because it's amazing how many people have told me that my short rows videos have helped them, and if I can, I don't know, like help to demystify some things in knitting, I would love to do that. So I might try to do more of that. If you think it's a good idea, let me know. Let me know if there's a topic that you would be interested in having me explore a bit, or anything that you would like me to talk about, whether if it's, you know, about knit design, you know, knitwear designing and what that entails. Just let me know, and I will hurry up, because I hear my kids and their dad coming back, and I just wish you a very happy new year, and until next time, happy knitting.